The wind howled through the misty northern hills. The pride of the Roman Empire, its disciplined legions, believed themselves invincible, certain that every land would bow beneath their orderly march. Yet, in the north, there existed a darkness where mountains were shrouded in fog and forests hid an indomitable people. The Caledonians, whom Rome could never subdue, moved like shadows, their defiance as sharp as the spears they wielded. They wore no gleaming armor, formed no perfect phalanx, yet they were like the air itself, unseen, sudden, unstoppable. To Roman soldiers, they were monsters, faces painted blue, hair wild, eyes burning with unrelenting fire. When their cries pierced the darkness of the forest, even the ironclad legions faltered. Who were these people? They were born in rocky lands, where soil barely yielded crops, where survival meant learning the art of battle from childhood. From the moment they could walk, they learned to hunt in secrecy, strike from hiding, and instill fear in the hearts of enemies. Their society was unconventional. No kings, only tribal leaders, warriors of unparalleled skill, and secretive alliances. For them, war was not merely combat, it was survival. Rome tried to break them. Forts were built, walls raised, and even Hadrian's Wall stretched across the landscape, a barrier meant to keep the untamable north at bay. But every wall taught the Caledonians new ways to slip through. They struck at night, destroyed food stores, harassed garrisons, and vanished before the enemy could respond. The Romans, trained for order and predictability, found themselves in a war without rules. Roads and supply lines were no longer advantages, they became traps. Legionnaires sank into bogs, scouts disappeared into forests, and sickness spread through camps where damp and cold gnawed relentlessly. Nature itself became an ally to the defenders of Caledonia. Even when the Romans claimed victories in pitched battles, the results were fleeting. The Caledonians did not fight for lands or wealth, they fought for freedom. Tribes dispersed, regrouped, and appeared elsewhere as if they had never been defeated. The Romans' methods of assimilation, turning enemies into allies, offering citizenship, absorbing conquered peoples, were useless here. The Picts wanted nothing Rome had to give. Emperor Severus, centuries later, brought one of the largest forces ever seen in Britain, determined to crush resistance once and for all. His legions marched through mountains, burned forests, and razed villages in a scorched earth campaign. Yet even his massive armies succumbed to the terrain, disease, exhaustion, and the relentless evasion of their enemies. Despite all the might of Rome, the north remained unconquered, the Picts' shadows disappearing into the mist. The Romans eventually stopped pushing north. Hadrian's Wall became the symbolic and physical boundary of the empire, a concession rarely admitted. There existed a place Rome could not dominate. Attempts to extend the frontier with the Antonine Wall failed. The northern tribes continued their resistance, their independence unbroken, teaching the empire a lesson that power alone cannot subdue determination. This was not merely a story of armies and battles. It was a tale of survival, will, and refusal to yield. An empire that devoured nations met its match in a people who vanished into the fog, struck swiftly, and held their ground without ever surrendering. Their legacy endures, etched into stone walls and the rugged spirit of Scotland, a reminder that even the greatest empire can be checked by those who refuse to bow. Before tanks, before drones, before nuclear fire, Rome was broken, not by kings or other armies, but by painted shadows in the mist, whose courage and cunning outlasted the mightiest war machine the world had ever seen.